Hello, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about our Azure Arc enabled SQL Server on HPE Apollo 4200 Gen10 Plus solution. I'm Mike Harding, the product manager of our Microsoft Solutions here in the storage business unit at HPE.
Hi, I'm Mike Schneider, a solutions engineer at HPE that worked on this Azure Arc enabled SQL project.
Okay, let me just share the context of why we even did this project. You saw what I think everyone else here is seeing, just the real mass movement towards the public cloud, a lot more in the way of spend and data and applications moving to these scalers. At the same time, though, and here's a stat from IDC that validates this, most companies really want to maintain some sort of presence still on-prem, the idea being maintaining like a hybrid cloud or multi-cloud infrastructure capability. And that's really what we want to achieve here with this project, was to extend the work we've been doing for a few years now and to use the latest technology that Microsoft rolled out, which is Azure Arc, in order to create another stable hybrid cloud infrastructure option so customers can get the benefits of the cloud on demand and bursting and just pay per use and access to Azure's various services, but at the same time maintaining control of their important business critical databases and data. So we did that building on the work we've already been doing. As I said, we've had now solutions on Azure Stack HCI out in the market for a few years. We came out first with Azure Stack HCI on the Apollo Gen 10, and now we've updated that for Gen 10 Plus, as well as for the latest version of Azure Stack HCI. So we're building on that, and the solution starts there with the foundation. The new component is Azure Arc. And Azure Arc is this new kind of connective tissue that further allows the management of on-prem resources through the Azure cloud, further benefits the hybrid cloud capabilities. What I can do is I'll let Mike drill into a little bit more about what Azure Arc is and how it fits into his project. And then would you like to talk about what you did?
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with all of the Azure terms, it can get confusing really quickly. The difference between Azure and Azure Arc services is that Azure is completely cloud-based, hosted by Microsoft directly. Azure Arc, on the other hand, gives you the ability to bring in your existing other cloud-based or on-prem infrastructure under Azure management. So if you have workloads running outside of Azure, you can centrally manage all of these resources consistently in Azure, whether they're Windows, Linux, SQL Server, or Kubernetes clusters. So you can govern, organize, and inventory assets in a homogeneous way and get central visibility for them in a single pane of glass using the Azure portal. So an example of cloud-based Arc is an existing VM hosted by another cloud service that you'd like to manage with your current Azure assets or possibly migrate in the future. An on-premise Arc example would be the solution testing I did for this Azure Arc enabled SQL managed instances. This used two clustered HPE Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus servers running in the lab on Azure Stack HCI OS. They were then added to Azure Arc, which enables management again from Azure. So further confusing terms is there is also Azure SQL managed instance and Azure Arc enabled SQL managed instance. So aside from the familiar name, they both use Kubernetes on the back end. The difference being is that Azure SQL is deployed directly to Azure resources in the cloud. So you have no hardware to configure, while Azure Arc enabled SQL allows you to deploy Kubernetes-based SQL on your own infrastructure that has been added to Azure Arc. So the way this is accomplished is by using the Azure Data Services extension on your Azure Arc connected Kubernetes cluster. This is where the magic happens, in that with this extension installed, not only can you manage your asset, but you will also be able to deploy SQL directly from the cloud instead of just rolling it out like you would locally from an added repository. And since this is Kubernetes-based, updates to the application happen automatically without the need to schedule maintenance windows or downtime, compared to traditional SQL versions like 2019 or 2016 that is attached to a Windows OS and specific server hardware. So upon installation, you can choose from two tiers of Arc-enabled SQL. First is general purpose, which can be thought of as SQL Standard Edition, which uses Kubernetes features to control failover and availability, which is suitable for most SQL deployments. The business critical tier is more like SQL Enterprise Edition. On top of Kubernetes orchestration, you also have replicas using SQL availability groups. Another feature you get from Arc-enabled SQL is that you can use your already purchased SQL licenses for your deployments using the Azure Hybrid benefit, so you aren't being charged for additional licenses from Azure. Also, there is a developer license in Arc-enabled SQL that isn't available for the fully cloud-based Azure SQL. This allows you to kick the tires without incurring Azure costs before you decide what license you need. This new solution, Azure Arc-enabled SQL Server for the Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus, delivers the benefits of cloud for databases while helping eliminate the risk and complexity of the hybrid cloud. It's intended to serve a significant number of traditional SQL customers as they explore ways to keep their important business data safely on premises while benefiting from new cloud-based services and management. And HPE has been recognized by Microsoft as a featured partner in this effort.
All right, thank you, Mike. Well, hey, let me just share where we can get more information about this. We just published recently a solution brief. We're in the process of rolling out your white paper right now that really covers the work that you've done on this in detail. And that we have a number of other resources out there available on Azure Stack HCI and other related solutions, either through our solution page or our partners have access to the sales resources page where they get all this information as well. And then just a quick reminder that this is really one of just a number of solutions that we have for Microsoft related offerings, whether it's email, collaboration, SQL Server, and database related solutions, data center automation, and of course, hybrid cloud infrastructure. With that, thank you very much for your time, and check us out online, hpe.com/storage/Microsoft, or our daily tweets at #HPEMSData. Thank you very much.